Afternoon, folks. Thought I'd check in today. I ain't made one of these videos in a minute. Kind of give an update of how I see everything going around. Uh, you can watch the news, but there's nothing like getting the perspective of people that's just out there in it. Start off there, gas prices shot up there real bad there for a minute. They're starting to bleed back down a little bit. If you look at that sign, then diesel prices ain't moved a bit, which means them prices on everything you buy is going to keep on going up. I can't hardly figure it out. It's one day I'll be out on the road and there'll be like no traffic, and I'll say, yeah, it looks like these gas prices are really starting to take a bite. And then the next day I'll be on the road and I'll be hip deep in people going to the beach. I sure would love to know where the people getting all this money, because I'm having fun just trying to eat rice and beans. But this affects everything. It's if you've been to a grocery store lately, you can't miss that it just isn't as full as it used to be. Uh, they'll do what they call fronting items. They'll be you look down the aisle and it look like the aisles are full, but when you walk down the aisle and look at the items, there'll be one row of like cans on the front and nothing behind it, where that whole shelf used to be full. And it jumps around. This week I may go to a supplier that's bad short on stuff, and then next week he may be flush, but then another supplier's short on stuff. Uh, we are having a hard time getting stuff. It's getting a lot of cancellations on backhauls and stuff because the product's just not available, or they don't have enough product to give us a truckload. So I end up picking up half a truckload or 4 or 5 pallets where I was supposed to get 22. I don't know if you pay attention to the stock market or any, just economic news, but you're starting to see everything roll over now. It's all these markets that they said that were going to go up forever. They're starting to roll over, and the last one that's holding on for dear life is the job market, and it's even starting to show signs of rolling over. There's been companies that's announced layoffs and hiring freezes, and I figure by the end of summer, that's pretty well going to roll over too. And the next thing you'll see is these we're hiring signs that are everywhere right now will start disappearing. So if you're a job hopper, I'd settle down. It's not a good time to be job hopping. Uh, they find you hop from a job to an empty hole. There ain't no more jobs there. And It's getting tough. It's getting tough for folks. I'm really starting to see it hit home with people I know. Uh, my daughter works for a temporary staffing company. She runs one of their offices, and over the last couple of years through COVID and everything, it's been the best job in the world. They took real good care of her, and and now starting to slim up, and they're starting to be not so nice people to work for. Uh, I told her that it'd probably be better off if she started hunting another job because when the job market takes a flip, the very first places to go out of business are all those temporary staffing places. Because these companies, when they stop hiring, they don't need them anymore. Or the money they're paying for these places, they could save and do the hiring themselves because they're doing so much less hiring anyway. Um, like I say, if you really keep your eyes open, you'll see the things changing. Uh, we ain't got to talk about inflation. If you've been to a gas pump or a grocery store, you that you all too well understand that. Uh, but as these trucks start slowing down, uh, the small companies and the owner operators, these diesel prices are eating alive, and it's already starting to put a lot of them out of business. Uh, Parts shortages. We got trucks in the shop right now, just sitting there. Been sitting there for a couple months, waiting on some little part. It's just not available. When you look at the shop and there's trucks sitting there and it's got boxes stacked all up on top of it, brooms leaning up against it. It's been there a minute. And while we can absorb that because we have spare trucks, eventually we won't be able to. I mean, you're going to run out of spare trucks or spare trailers. We pull reefers, and reefers require parts. When they go down and they just have to sit in the backyard, they're not making any money. And these part shortages are eating us up pretty good. It's not just us. About that farmer that's trying to get a crop in the ground and he's waiting on a part for a tractor and he can't plant. Well, he's on a limited window to where if he gets past a certain date, he just might as well not plant a crop. Well, since we're already going through shortages and stuff, how's that going to help? We're in a bad way, people. Uh, Prepare yourself because I believe it all goes downhill from here. So, all everyone says I'm doom and gloom, and generally I'm a pretty optimistic person. But over the last couple of decades, our politicians have sold us a bill of goods, and Wall Street has sold us a bill of goods, and now it's time to pay the piper. And rest assured, the politicians and the people on Wall Street, they ain't paying no piper. They done left the restaurant. They're leaving the bill with us. And then can't understand why I ain't happy for it. Messy, messy people. So in a nutshell, best I can see, current state of our just life in general, our economy, everything in this country, it's pretty rough. Now we're coming into an election season, so it's time to start picking fights on stuff, and whether it's abortion or gun control or immigration or whatever. We get to go and listen to a bunch of politicians blow smoke up our backside about what they're going to do. So more than ever this year, your vote counts. Do your research. And remember, nothing is free. Anybody's promise you a bunch of free stuff, yeah, that's when you just check off your list, because nothing's free. That guy that's telling you the hard truth and the stuff that you just don't want to hear, I'm going to look a little closer at him or her and maybe do a little research and see if what they say is true. Because that's what this country needs right now, is a little tough love. We're going to have to go through the bad to get to the good. I don't like it, but it is what it is. But like I say, this is kind of an experimental video. It's I got the camera turned around, looking out the windshield. That road looks a lot better than my ugly mug. I apologize for the bug graveyard on my windshield, but it's just that time of year. I can polish that windshield to a high shine. Go 5 miles down the road, and sure as John was a Baptist, bug's gonna hit right in the middle where that camera lens is looking through. Never fails. So yeah, this was a video kind of about nothing, but I'm gonna try and the voiceover thing and see how it works. Just felt like rambling a little bit. Y'all take care of yourselves, and I'll catch you on the flip side.